Okay, we are rolling. Time to roll. You know, Pennywise the Clown says, time to float. I say, time to roll. Only joking. Right, boxing tonight. I'm going to start with Lomachenko and his fight with Jose Pedraza. Now, can we just say something right off the bat, right? It's easy to fly when you've got wings. Only those with legs, and only legs, that still manage to glide are great. What do I really mean by that? If fights are easy for you, it's easy to look great. It's when you are slightly tested and still find something extra despite not being 100%. That's what makes a truly special fighter. No pound-for-pound king can really be pound-for-pound king, in my view, if they just walk through absolutely anything and everything. None of them ever have. Not one. Not Mayweather. Castillo challenged Mayweather. Beat him in many eyes in the first fight. Marquez challenged Pacquiao, big style. Roberto Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard, they challenged each other. You know, you can go on and on. Sugar Shane Mosley and Oscar De La Hoya. That stuff, right? All pound-for-pound kings in history, Muhammad Ali, have been put through the mill at some stage. I wouldn't say Lomachenko was drastically put through the mill tonight, but Pedraza was a game challenge. Let's just put it that way. Top Rank made it seem, the Top Rank commentary, Christina Poncharu, I sort of do respect, and the other people, they made it seem like Lomachenko was getting his head boxed off. That wasn't the case. Pedraza was competitive, big time in spots. Landed some real good body shots on Lomachenko. Seemed to have Lomachenko's rhythm and timing at times. Landed some good right hands. Was able to switch from orthodox to southpaw and do some clever stuff in there. His head movement and upper body movement was very good indeed. This guy's a world-class fighter. He was a world champion. Lomachenko, let's just put it as it is, has had 13 fights, won 12 of them, and won 4 world titles in 3 different weight classes in just 13 professional fights. To put it mildly, that is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just look at Lomachenko here. Pedraza, Linares. This is who he's fought, by the way, recently. Rigondeaux. Right? You've got Nicholas Walters in there. Roma Martinez. Gary Russell. Solido. I mean, I could go on and on. The guy does not fight anything really but top quality. Some of the best in the sport. Sometimes I wonder, does he ever, sit down and take a breath? He's really a man in a hurry. And I've got people saying to me right now, well, he hasn't got 50 wins behind him. Look, it's not how many wins you've got. It's the quality of opponents you face that define your career. Sugar Ray Leonard doesn't have 50 wins. One of the greats. Right? It does just simply not work that way. Lomachenko has already beaten some very, very good competition. Indeed, right? Some guys, Deontay Wilder, and I'm not picking on poor Deontay, it seems like I'm doing it all the time. Deontay Wilder does not have anything like Lomachenko's resume in all of his nearly 40 fights. Not one of those guys measure up to Linares at his best. I don't care what you say. In 13 fights, Lomachenko's done more than the whole of Deontay Wilder's pro career in 40 bouts. Deontay Wilder 1 belt, 40 fights. Lomachenko 4. This is what happens when fighters like to really challenge themselves, and Lomachenko is one of them. Yes, I'm disappointed he's not took the Manny Pacquiao fight, because I know if Lomachenko beat Pacquiao, they would say he beat the ghost of Manny Pacquiao, but I don't really think it's about that. Pacquiao is a name to the broader audiences out there, and they wouldn't see it as that. True boxing fans would say he didn't beat the true Manny Pacquiao, but casuals would then see Lomachenko as then a real biggie attraction. He would be a superstar. He's a superstar in the ring, but he would transcend to the populace with a win over Manny Pacquiao. That's why Terence Crawford wanted Manny Pacquiao. Terence Crawford knows that he would not get, by the boxing purists, the credit for beating Manny Pacquiao that he would get if he'd have beaten Pacquiao in 2009, if that was possible with a time machine. But it would be a transcendence fight. Do you see what I'm saying? You know, the general public just see you win against Manny. But look what it's done for Jeff Horn. Jeff Horn has just sold another 25,000 tickets to fight Anthony Mundine. Right? That's off the back of fighting a Manny Pacquiao who was 39 years of age. And he lost. But still, the draw of facing that guy brings the public in. That's the only reason that I wanted Lomachenko to face Manny Pacquiao. No guarantee he beats Manny Pacquiao even now, but you see what I'm saying. You know, it's a risk, but well worth it. You don't get credit either way, but you gain exposure. And, you know, Lomachenko might not be interested in that, but, you know, he deserves credit because he is a quality fighter. But let's talk again about Pedraza. What he did, he didn't really commit. He didn't come forward like a bulldog and let Lomachenko use foot speed, hand speed, volume to bamboozle him. He didn't walk onto shots. He kind of teased Lomachenko to try and lead attacks. And that's what sort of gave Lomachenko a bit to think about. Right? I gave Pedraza 4 rounds in there. Maybe, give or take 4 rounds. Lomachenko 8, right? So, people are inevitably going to compare this performance with Tank Davis. But Lomachenko still landed some terrific left hands. Equally, well, even better, I said Pedraza's body shots was good. Wait till we get to the 11th round, then you'll know what bodywork really is, right? But Tank Davis hunted Pedraza down. There was really no sense of he was going to fight in the centre of the ring and play chess with this guy. Tank Davis was the monster in there. It's a different style to Lomachenko. Lomachenko is a man with many cards. Tank Davis plays his aces. And he definitely played his aces in the fight with Pedraza, right? So, for people saying, oh, he went the distance with Lomachenko and Tank stopped him, so Tank beats Lomachenko, forget about it. I think Tank Davis loses big style, fighting his come-forward style v Lomachenko, the way he did against Pedraza when he won. Maybe. I mean, Linares is classed as a better fighter than Jose, right? But Lomachenko stopped him. Tank keeps coming forward. That then gives Lomachenko the chance to counter him and use all his facilities. Left hand, the jab, combinations, hand speed, bodywork, the chance to fight Davis coming forward and then eventually backing him up. And then how does Gervonta Davis deal with then being pushed back, right? But Lomachenko, you know, he was like Spider-Man. He arrived just in time. And what I mean is that 11th round. Some withering bodywork. But it started with so many headshots that Jose lifted his arms up, again the same as what Linares did, and then Lomachenko took the body out and dropped him. He rose to his feet, and Lomachenko landed, I think this was actually with his right hand, them body shots that sort of don't land like they don't land like a brick hitting your stomach, but they sort of ripple across your body, right? Across your stomach area. Ripple, travel across. And they are absolutely horrible because they don't only hurt in one place. They travel. The pain rips all the way through, right? He did well to get up after that, Pedraza. No question about it, right? That then got the crowd wild. Lomachenko was not probably his best form tonight, but he still produced a moment to remember. A moment again that when questions are sort of asked, big answers turn up, and that's what great fighters do. And after that, the fight was a foregone conclusion, a victory. 12th round, he also won that as well. Big time. Pedraza then was holding on for dear life. This is a fighter, Lomachenko, then, that was wishing that we had been in the 15-round era, because he'd have stopped him, right? A little longer than Tank Davis, but he still would have got there. But of course, what did we see? Timothy Bradley beat Marquez, right? Juan Manuel Marquez. Manny Pacquiao always had a fight with Marquez, to put it just lightly. But then we knew Pacquiao's better than Bradley. So do you see what I'm saying? Just because Tank did better against a common opponent, don't think he's better than Lomachenko, because I don't believe he is. I would still love to see that fight. Desperately love to see it. Because boxing is boxing, you never know. But still, that is my opinion, and I stand by it. But, like I say, this guy, his resume, he's in a hurry. But he's fought so many good fighters back to back. And he is starting to get a few bruises because better quality, or always quality, challenge you. They really do. I'd be wondering if I was Lomachenko or if I was Bob Arum, just to, find someone a bit lighter, a bit, not a world-class fighter, so he could take a bit of a breather just for one fight, recharge, and then go again. We also have to remember Lomachenko suffered an arm injury in the Linares fight. Also a fight which he used withering bodywork. I know I harp on about bodywork, blah, 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 and sometimes the art of bodywork is reserved for a compliment for a slugger. No. Lomachenko is one of the greatest boxers of this generation, and he uses bodywork brilliantly. Some of the best in the sport for me. So does Crawford, his pound-for-pound friend. So I would never write bodywork off. You invest in the body, it gives you interest later. Lomachenko was bright enough to sense that all that movement, all that head movement and upper body movement that Pedraza was using early on in the fight was getting him tired. And once he sensed that, he delivered the penalty big time. This reminded me of Tony Bellew and Usyk. Tony Bellew was able to move and match Usyk's movement for so long. But Usyk knew he can't do my game like I can. Even if he can read my rhythm, he's not my shadow. Sooner or later, when you make people do things they're not used to doing, they do fatigue. And that's when Usyk put the pedal to the metal and stopped Bellew. And that's when Lomachenko found his great moment tonight, right? So, clever stuff. That is ring IQ. Pedraza probably stood. You see, you have to make a distinction as well. Tank Davis was a new kid on the block. Pedraza probably did not study Tank Davis, but I bet you pound to a penny he ate, drank, slept, watched, observed Lomachenko day and night. And Lomachenko come in there not 100%, and it still wasn't enough to beat Lomachenko. But Pedraza is a much better fighter than people give him credit for. This is a guy who's had 2 world titles himself, right? World champions are not just going to go in a ring and fall over. That's not how things work. Sooner or later, you'll meet your match. And for a few rounds in there, people were wondering, had Lomachenko found his Marquez? Had he found the man that had the kryptonite to his style? But he didn't. Sooner or later, Lomachenko, they call him high-tech, found the software to overcome the issue. And he was accurate. Look at the numbers. He was hit with 111 shots and landed 200 and something plus himself. So it was a clear win. And against a man with complex boxing style himself, who could switch stances. So he is. On Box Nation tonight, they were talking about would he beat Roberto Duran? Would he beat this guy, that guy? Some of the top boys fighting in his current weight class in the history of the sport. A lot of people now are saying, well, of that performance, no. Listen, Roberto Duran lost fights. Some of the all-time greats have lost fights. Right? You can't really say it based off tonight. Because it's on the night. Another night, another occasion, a different style, possibly a much more emphatic result. I think Lomachenko beats Tank Davis easier than he beat this guy tonight due to styles, because I know Tank will come forward. And when you are hunting a target that is called Lomachenko, you are a target yourself. You don't realise it. Lomachenko, let me tell you what he is. Lomachenko is a secret agent. Them secret agents that turn up and the bad guy sees them and chases them, and the baddie thinks he's chasing the secret agent. Oh no. The secret agent is luring you to where he wants you to go, and then Mr. Bond traps you. That's Lomachenko. That's what he does with aggressive fighters. And then inevitably, he takes their heart away. He takes their soul away. And leaves them, well, just waiting to lose. That's all I could say. Tank Davis would face volume like he's never faced before. He'd face footwork and skill like he's never faced before. Alright, Lomachenko may face power. But Lomachenko, what will Tank Davis do when his body gets an attack? These are all these questions. But Lomachenko for me is... They're saying now that he's not pound for pound number one. I still have him pound for pound number one until further notice. Yes, somebody was saying tonight they can see Roman Gonzalez. He's starting to mark up a bit as he's going up in weight. But that inevitably can happen. I think Lomachenko is at his limit now. I'm not sure if he can go up to 140 or 147. Definitely not. And hang with the top boys there. Not because he's not capable of beating them pound for pound. It's just the sheer size. He's a better fighter than those guys. A lot of those guys pound for pound. Take Crawford out the equation. But size eventually does matter. Everybody has their limits. You know, probably Manny Pacquiao could not have reigned for long had he won a belt at middleweight. You know, Margarito, Manny admitted, was his limit, right? Even him. So we all have limits. And especially Lomachenko is, let him still be great despite limits. Everybody wants a Superman performance from him every time. That can't always happen. But what he does do is when the sticks are on the floor, he finds a way to crawl and pick them up, right? When he's not at his best, he can still grind out a result. That's something that all the phenomenal athletes in history have done. That is what Real Madrid in football do in the Champions League. That, very sadly, is what Manchester United used to do. And those days are gone for Manchester United. Sadly, right? But Lomachenko can do that. Terence Crawford can do that. We even seen Kell Brook do that. Kell Brook was really off the boil tonight, but he found a way to get through. That's what quality does. I'm not saying Kell Brook is Crawford and Lomachenko level. They're different. But what I'm saying is, they've got a grit inside them, these fighters, that when they should potentially get frustrated and disillusioned, they find a way to come through it, right? Didn't we see that with Tyson Fury against Deontay Wilder? It is what it is, right? But Lomachenko is high tech. Even when the tech is low, he finds a way to make it rise. And this is Champions of Champions Boxing Talk. Remember, if you're having a bad day, the greatness of your character, let it guide you. And you will find a way through that day. Just like Loma did. And I'm out.